Hi everyone, thanks for tuning into my video. I owe some of you an apology. At the beginning of the year I announced that I was going to do a year-long series of videos in which I talked about films released in the year 1973, most of which I had never seen before. 1973, of course, was the year I was born. It was 40 years ago this year, and I thought it would be a good idea to take a look back at some of that stuff that came out around that time, seeing as how I was so unfamiliar with it. And I've seen so far about 30 movies from that year, but I had planned to see a lot more. Sometime in May, my camera just kind of went bust on me, and while I didn't realize it, the matter was simply, it was an issue of batteries that needed to be replaced with different ones, apparently. But at that point I sort of lost momentum. I was trying to watch like 2 1973 movies a week, sometimes less, but usually 2. I ended up seeing quite a few. I was planning on seeing around 60 or 70 movies throughout the course of the year, but I really haven't managed to do that because although I continued to watch 1973 movies for a little while after my camera stopped working, I wasn't really making any videos on them because the equipment that I had aside from that one camera was pretty substandard. And around August, I sort of stopped watching 1973 movies as well, despite the fact that I had asked all of you watching to please request titles for me to review, to make it easier for me to pick which ones to do next. So I wanted to make up for that before the year was over and maybe continue watching a few films into the new year, though I plan to be done by the end of this year. For example, The Offense, a Sidney Lumet film starring Sean Connery and She-Devils of the SS, were a couple of movies that were requested by people who watch my videos. However, I have not been able to find copies of these to look at anywhere. However, I have managed to see Lucky Luciano, Oh Lucky Man, Black Caesar, The Spook Who Sat by the Door, Paper Moon, State of Siege, Enter the Dragon, the Woody Allen film Sleeper, the Clint Eastwood film Magnum Force, The Legend of Hell House, and The Way We Were with Barbra Streisand and Robert Redford. I managed to see all these films without making videos on them, so I could still do that. I just haven't gotten around to doing them because of laziness and just, like I said, I got out of the habit of doing it. But I want to make up for that, especially since I asked for people to, request specific titles. And of course, there's plenty of other 1973 movies that I haven't seen yet that I could during the last month of this year, which I would like to do. I'm going to be going out of town a little bit for Thanksgiving, but when I come back, I'd like to resume that in force. And the most recent film that I watched was requested by Puckbond007, one of my compadres in the Movie Reviewers 100, called Lady Snowblood, a Japanese movie which is known in its native country as Shurayukihime. Shurayukihime. Yes, that's right. But it's, in the English-speaking countries, it's known as Lady Snowblood. And when you see this movie, if you're familiar with Quentin Tarantino's Kill Bill movies, you can definitely see where his influences came from here. I'm not really familiar with the people who made this movie. The director is Toshiya Fujita, who has made a number of feature films over the years, a couple of which have English-language titles on IMDb, but they still have entirely East Asian casts. I'm not familiar with any of these films or the other work of the director. The main character is played by Meiko Kaji, and basically she is a young woman who has grown up with an inherited mission from her mother to get vengeance on the 5 individuals that assaulted and raped her and got her pregnant. That took place, I think, in 1874 was when she was born. This is when the movie starts, and it flashes back and forth in time. But we see in the village where Yuki, that's the main character, where Yuki's mother lived, she was escorting a teacher into town, and some other people in the town mistook the teacher for a government official who was there to make sure all the right people got drafted for the war, unless of course they could pay to avoid the draft, which is something that happened in gangs in New York as well. So by mistaking him for a government official, they assaulted him, killed him, and then assaulted and raped the woman who then, 9 months later, in a prison gave birth to Yuki, who is then tasked with exacting vengeance against these 5 people. Not only just in terms of the setting and the type of story that it is, but a lot of scenes and particular shots definitely recall Kill Bill for me, especially the first one. And I'm in the awkward position of seeing influences the reverse way around. For example, with the film Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, I recognized a lot of things from an Emilio Estevez Western called Young Guns 2 that came out in 1990. Of course, it was Young Guns 2 that stole some of these scenes and signature bits from the earlier movie, and that's the same thing that happened here, but I sort of get it the other way around. Anyway, there's some incredible martial arts fighting in this movie. It's I'm sure it's a well-regarded classic amongst those who like martial arts movies. And of course, I did, as I mentioned, see Enter the Dragon, which is one of the most popular martial arts movies ever made. So I'll be making a video on that at some point in the future as well. But I need to get back on the horse with these films right here. At this time, I don't think I need any more requests because I still have a number of movies that no one's requested that I took note of. For example, Jesus Christ Superstar, The Paper Chase, Last Tango in Paris, Walking Tall, Electric Glide in Blue, The Mac, Turkish Delight. These are all 1973 movies that I could and hopefully will watch and then make videos on, because I would like to pick this up, because it's been too long since I did this. The last time I watched one of these movies was in August. So it's been a period of time where I just haven't done it at all, partly because I've been distracted by new movies coming out in the summer and fall, which I'm excited about. But yeah, there really is no excuse. So I apologize for those of you who've been waiting around. You'll be seeing a lot more videos on this subject from me, especially the 11 films that I watched but hadn't made videos for yet. Those will be the next ones that I do, and then we'll continue on from there. And I may continue doing it in 2014 if I feel like seeing more 1973 movies. I probably will. So I hope you look forward to that, and I hope you enjoy these. And thanks again to EJ for requesting this movie. I really enjoyed it. I'll see you again real soon. Bye.